Okay, this is probably going to seem like a crazy video, but I promise I'd post this to a guy today. Uh, I did a video, it's probably been 2.5 years ago, I'm going to say. Uh, Do it yourself outriggers for a kayak. And I've had two responses, not the last guy. Didn't say it like this. One before that was sort of an LOL, acting like I was a dumb donkey, if you get my drift there, not knowing what you can say on YouTube, and telling me that I had my paddle upside down and all that kind of stuff. After I've made the outriggers, I went out to a lake and adjusted the things and did a little video about me paddling off with them. And I've had two people say that I had my paddle backwards or upside down or whatever. And I told them no, I didn't. That's just the way that paddle's made. Uh, a normal kayak paddle, and I had a good kayak paddle. I broke it down in Florida trying to get out of some mangroves when a doggone tide was coming in. And if anybody's ever seen a tide come in down there on the Gulf, you'll know that's like a river after a heavy rain. But anyway, I broke that paddle trying to push myself through those mangroves. And I hadn't bought a new one yet when I made that video about the outriggers. So I was using an old paddle that came with that Pelican kayak. Now, that was a cheap Pelican kayak, but I've really enjoyed it. I've caught a lot of fish out of it. I've done overnighters on rivers out of it. And I think the thing, this is pre, pandemic inflation prices, but I think the thing was about $420 or something like that, and that was with a paddle. So it's a Pelican paddle. So I'm going to show this paddle right now. I started to say about a normal kayak paddle, they'll have a little bit of a bend in them, and that's what helps you pull back on the water. I understand that. I have since bought a new paddle, but I just wanted to clear up a point because a guy told me flat out, well, you're wrong. I watched the video twice and you're using your paddle upside down. Well, I'm going to show here right now what that paddle looks like. So, coming right up. Okay, so first I'm going to do this normal paddle. You can see this thing is slightly concaved, if you want to call it that, on one side, convex on the other side. This rib, and I think this is what the people were looking at, this rib is on the inside of the paddle there. Okay, I get that. Now, this is the paddle I use mostly now. It's not an expensive one, but it's been pretty good. So, okay, here's that paddle. Now let me get this other one and show it to you. Now here is that paddle I had in the video. See, it has a rib on there. I think this is what the people were looking at when they thought I had the paddle upside down or something. I don't know. But if you'll look at this paddle, and it says Pelican on it, which was the brand of that kayak I bought. This paddle is exactly the same on both sides, except for the name Pelican on it. There is no curve in it either way. There's no curve up here. There's no curve in here. It's just flat on both sides. There is no up. There is no down. There's no right. There's no left. The other end is exactly like this. There's no inside out, outside in. It's just flat on both sides. If you turn it over, you have the same thing. If I flipped it around to the other blade, it's the same thing. So there you go, folks. I'm no dumb donkey. I know how to use a kayak paddle. I've been around water for most of my life. I've been kayaking and canoeing a long time. I'm a certified scuba diver. I know how to use a paddle. So here you go for all of you that think that I'm just dumber than a rock. Here is a paddle that is exactly the same on both sides and on both ends. No forward, no backward, no flip it over.